Hey, it's Jeff here. Welcome to NEBR, New England Beer Reviews. Today I'm going to be checking out the Lost Nation Mosaic from Vermont. But until I do that, I'm going to be taking a little hike along this old abandoned road, partly paved and now dirt in Deerfield, New Hampshire. So I'll catch you in a moment. Now these exhaust pipes, I don't know the exact terminology, are usually put in place after something's been buried. Like an old landfill, you know, for the hazardous wastes and whatnot, and other types of chemicals that can be kind of intermingling under here. So who knows what might have been here years ago. At one time it may well have been an old landfill from the 19th century. So if you were to dig down, you might find some very interesting old artifacts, maybe even some old beer bottles out there. It's pretty well grown over. Right off Route 43, not far from the fairgrounds. And there's a cemetery right across the street. There's a marker at the end of this road which represents the location where the first Baptist Church of Deerfield was built. No longer exists, but it was here from the late 1700s till the early 1800s. So the cemetery across the street, though, the stones are much later than that. I spend a lot of time in old cemeteries like these, not because I've got some sort of ghoulish, morbid curiosity. It's because I do genealogy research, and it's one of my hobbies. And as part of that, I spend a lot of time going through cemeteries, looking for names, particularly in this area for one of the names in my lineage that does have some connections to the Deerfield, Candia area. I went through this cemetery, but I did not find the name, so they weren't buried here. Now the Lost Nation Mosaic from Morrisville, Vermont has an alcohol by volume of 5.5% ABV. Part of that whole canned IPA craze that's going on in Vermont and New England and really across the country. This one was first introduced in the spring of 2015, and the brewery itself's been around 3 or 4 years out of Morrisville, Vermont, as I mentioned, which is an area many years ago when I was a child growing up in Vermont that I used to I've been there a few times because it's not far from Lake Elmore, which was a place that my family and I would go sometimes for summer vacations. So I'm going to check this right out here. Got a bit of a backdrop, a lot of trees in the way, but there's a nice mountain scenery. If you can see back there, there's a nice mountain scenic backdrop back there. A nice place to be after I finished walking that abandoned road in Deerfield. And I am still in Deerfield right now. So let's give this a pour. Okie dokie. Take a look at that. It looks just like what you'd expect for these IPA, unfiltered IPAs. Let me just put this down for a minute. You can tell here it's got this kind of pale yellow, very unfiltered, very cloudy, very murky looking yellow tone leading up to this white head up top here. A bit of busy carbonation as well. Hard to see, but I can see a little bit of it. Looks like the head's going to hang for a little bit. Does leave a little bit of a, you know, little lacing and so on around here, so not bad at all. But it looks like pouring in some pineapple or some grapefruit juice, of course, or some mango juice. And now let's talk about those aromas, which are definitely standing out. I'm getting a definite fruit aroma. You're getting that mango, you're getting that kind of pine character, and no pine trees around me, so the pine character is coming out of the beer. Just a maybe slightest citrus or lemon zest hint going on. Yes, more of the mango for sure. You know, it's one of those things that kind of has this kind of, it's like pulpy sort of character to it. I don't see any, of course, but that's when I drink a juice of some kind, you get that kind of pulpy character. So let's check out the taste. Smooth beer. Oh, really smooth. Oh, wow, I'm getting a very interesting, unexpected herbal character in the flavor. I was expecting more of this fruity, kind of lemony, fruity character, but there's more of an herbal character that's kicking in this time around. Ooh. Right, for sure. Single hops, Mosaic hops, which is a fairly recent hop. I'm not a home brewer, but I know that Mosaics are kind of all the rage now for a lot of these IPAs that are out there because they have such a variety. And they've only been around really for less than 5 years, I think, something like that. The body of this is very smooth, very creamy. It's got low acidity on this, which is good. Got a clean finish on this, not a super bitter finish, it's more of a fruity finish on this beer. This is a really nice beer. You know, and it's another one of those Vermont beers. Nowadays you say Vermont beer and usually you automatically think good beer. well, at least some of the newer beers. There's a lot of breweries in Vermont that have been around for 20-something years, and they're the pros. But when people think of Vermont beer, they think of all the Lost Nation, and they think of the Alchemist, and Lawson's Finest Liquids, and the Foley Brothers, and all these new places that have been cropping up over the last 2 or 3 years. 14th Star, you know, they've all been coming up over the last few years to really satisfy the beer public. Really nice, really nice. Lean down to get it. Again, the Lost Nation Mosaic IPA. And that will do it for today. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.